The Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, Lord Christ. Jesus said, "Very truly I tell you, anyone who does not enter the sheepfold by the gates, but climbs in by another way, is a thief and a bandit. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep hear his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. They will not follow a stranger, but they will run from him because they do not know the voice of strangers." Jesus used this figure of speech with them, but they did not understand what he was saying to them. So again, Jesus said to them, "Very truly I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and bandits, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. Once again, it is the fourth Sunday of Easter, Good Shepherd Sunday, except there's no Good Shepherd to be found. That's next year. This year we get a gate. A rather unremarkable and perhaps a little confusing passage on its own, but one with depths of meaning in its larger context. Jesus does not stop talking at chapter 9, verse 41. Biblical scholar Caroline Lewis reminds us, even though the lectionary's textual delineations are in service to the chapter and verse markings of our modern Bibles, markings which, of course, do not belong to their original manuscripts and are not always particularly helpful, such as in this passage. A common pattern in John's gospel is this structure of sign, dialogue, and discourse. Sign, where Jesus does something, which in other gospels might be called a miracle. Dialogue, where everyone tries to figure out what the sign means, often belaboring the subject to death. And then discourse, where Jesus finally tells them what it actually means. Today we're solidly in that discourse stage, so let's back up. Chapter 9. Sign. As Jesus walked along, he saw a man blind from birth. You might recall the story from just over a month ago on the fourth Sunday in Lent. And Jesus spat on the ground and made mud with the saliva and spread the mud on the man's eyes. Then the man went and washed and came back able to see. Dialogue. An almost dizzying swirl of questions that follows. How were your eyes opened? How can a man who is a sinner perform such signs? What do you say about him? The religious leaders interrogate everyone from the man himself to his parents, ultimately resulting in his expulsion from the community, as John concludes, and they drove him out. Discourse. As we move into chapter 10, including the provocative declaration, "I am the gate." One of John's characteristic "I am" statements, which should pique our attention. I am the gate. Jesus repeats a second time, "Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture." This isn't a generic claim about salvation, as if it could be so easily detached from the story which immediately precedes it. Instead, as Dr. Lewis reminds us, this story must be read as commentary, the discourse on the specific sign, the healing of the man born blind. What is salvation for him she asks. From what did he need to be saved? Jesus saves this man from his isolation, restoring him to community, bringing him into the care and safety of the sheepfolds, into the promise of life abundant. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold, Jesus says in another Good Shepherd Sunday lectionary year. I must bring them also. This is not an exclusive club meant to keep some people in and others out. This is an expansive invitation for all who yearn for refuge, for community, and for belonging. Jesus, the gate, is the invitation and entrance to abundant life for the man born blind, for the disciples and the onlookers listening in, for anyone who has been the victim of gatekeeping, for anyone who has been excluded or feels like they are less than. Jesus, the gate, keeps his sheep safe from harm, a promise made tangible several chapters later when Jesus boldly steps out of the garden, comes forward, a sort of buffer between his disciples, still safely in the folds, and the soldiers and the police who have come to arrest him. If you are looking for me, he says, let these people go. This was to fulfill, the gospel writer parenthetically explains, the word that he had spoken, I did not lose a single one of those whom you gave me. There is safety and belonging in the sheepfolds, where Jesus' own beloved are driven out, cut off from community, and left in harm's way. Jesus, the gates, offers welcome and refuge and belonging and life abundant. Jesus, the Good Shepherd, is a powerful image, one that has inspired centuries of hymnody, liturgy, and artwork. Just as powerful this year is Jesus, the gates, who stands open, ready to welcome and receive his flock, no matter who they are or where they are from, who calls us by name and bids us to follow him, forming communities of care and belonging until all can know and experience the promise of God's abundance.